Hello everyone. Hello and welcome to another edition of the ShadowCast. I am the Black Shadow, of course, and I told you guys I was going to use this music for something. I told you. Anyways, folks, before we get on with any business here, I just want to put out a quick thank you to everyone who has been watching along with our two LPs that have just come to their conclusions. Metal Gear Solid 1, which of course has been a lot of fun to LP. Always wanted to play the game myself, it's been really good, really enjoyed it. Even the Extreme Run, which was pretty trying at times, pretty difficult, pretty brutal. But to have got to the end of that, was a bit of relief, certainly, in respect that we got through it, folks, because, it wasn't looking too promising at times, but we got there. And, of course, as well, with the music, Alone in the Dark as well, I really hope that everyone who watched that, I really hope you guys enjoyed that. As I say, it's a game I remember really fondly from my childhood, and I hope that just a little bit of that magic, just a little bit, managed to get through. I really hope so. So, why have I summoned you all here today? Well, I'm in quite an unusual sort of position at the moment, folks. Quite a fortunate position, mind you, in that, for once, well, I have a completely open schedule. The slate is clear, folks. With the fact that our two LPs we've been doing have ended at pretty much the same time, I've got complete freedom here, folks. Which is nice to have. And I thought, well, I've got a bit of an opportunity. No, I've got, everything's free. So what is it I want to do now? Well, I've had a bit of a think about it, folks. The thing is that a couple things I've noticed, and a couple things people have mentioned to me in the past couple months, certainly. So, first of all, this year has had a lot of big titles, folks. We've had Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil HD, San Andreas to start the year, Final Fantasy X. A lot of big games we've had this year, but therein lies the word big. And the one problem that you have sometimes with that sort of thing is that you look at the lengths. The thing is, we haven't actually done all that many games this year, folks. Truth be told, the fact is, all the LPs we've done have been pretty long LPs, folks. I'll be honest. I mean, what? Metal Gear Solid has been about 35 videos. What else has there been? My goodness me. Resident Evil HD was about 20. Resident Evil 4 was about 40 videos. Alone in the Dark's been 20. Final Fantasy, of course, RPG. We've not really gotten through that many games this year, truth be told. And on top of that, and people have mentioned it to me, and I have kind of noticed, the video lengths that we've had have been creeping on a little bit, which for some people don't mind, but for some people, I've always tried to go for about the half-hour sort of limit, not much longer than that, but we've had videos creeping on 35, 40, 45 minutes. Some have gone into an hour, which I've tried desperately to avoid. It's somewhat in my hands. When it comes to games like I'm recording off, like, current gen console sort of thing, I have no save state ability often, so I'm kind of strictly stuck with whatever saves we've got. But it is something that's become rather apparent, folks. So what I thought I would do is I want to change things up just a little bit. Not hugely, but just a little bit. And I thought, as I say, I've got a completely clear slate, folks. So I've kind of thinking about what was it I want to do. And I thought about, well, what has the channel not had for a while? I mean, we've had a lot of, sort of pretty serious games, pretty big games recently. But what has the channel not had much of, if any, in its 4 and a bit years since we started it, folks? And the fact is, we're coming into the winter nights, we're coming into the Christmas season now, and I'm perfectly aware of the fact, that people might be wanting to spend some more time with, family and friends, potentially anything like that, and that's fine, that's understandable, folks. And just being the Christmas series, we've had a lot of serious games, so I just wanted to take a small break from that. I know we've got obviously running series, like Silent Hill, Resident Evil, of course, GTA. But I'm going to put those on the side for just a little bit. Just a bit, folks. And what I've decided to do is I'm going to turn the clock back, say, about 20, 25 years? One thing that this channel was built on when I first set it up was the fact I wanted to be able to be an outlet to show where gaming came from, in a way. And this channel, was built on a lot of the older generation games, folks, which I personally feel some of them are far superior to stuff that comes out nowadays anyways. And I want to return to that, because it does a lot of things, I mean, I want to... It does a lot of things as far as myself and for the channels, basically. And I've been wanting to do some of the older stuff for quite a while. I've just had to try and find somewhere to fit it in. I figured now is as good a time as any, folks. So what we're going to be doing, for the next few weeks at least, running into, over Christmas, and certainly at least into the new year, is, well, basically... As I said, I've always done the 2 LPs, folks. The two LPs at a time, as I normally do. So what we're going to have on one side of the coin is we are going to be going back in time about 25 years. And I have a absolute slew of games from like sort of the NES, the SNES, even the Genesis, for goodness sakes, that I've been wanting to do for a little while, but I just wasn't sure quite where and when I was going to do it, and I was taking a few requests here and there, doing those. But I really, really want to do them. And I figure, now's as good a time as any. And for that matter as well, because they're smaller games, what I'm going to be focusing on trying to get into do at least is I'm going to be making those videos a little bit shorter. I'm going to be sort of looking to go about maybe 15, 20 minutes each, because it's something a bit more bite-sized as well, folks. And I think it helps, because, 15, 20-minute videos, you can watch that on a lunch break sort of thing. But if I'm coming up with Metal Gear Solid stuff and it's regularly clocking about 45, 50 minutes sort of thing, that's a proper sit down and watch sort of thing. So I'm going to be doing all sorts of that. I've got a ton of games I'd love to do. I don't think I'm going to get anywhere near doing all of them. But there are several games that I want to do. Some you're bound to have heard of. Some you've probably never heard of in your life. But that doesn't mean, that they're a load of rubbish. If they were that bad, I wouldn't be wanting to LP them, folks. And in fact, I've already recorded one of the games already by this point. I've already done one. And so what we're doing on one side of the coin is I'm going to be looking to do a slew of NES games. I'm not even going to tell you guys what they are, because it's going to be changing quite rapidly. We're going to be looking maybe a couple of weeks at most on a game, probably. And then it's going to be changing, folks. So I'm going to let you guys work out the mysteries as we go along, because I know you guys love mysteries. I mean, come on, this is a survival horror-based channel. Survival horror, mystery. It's like bread and butter. So yeah, that. On the other side of the coin, however, so I wanted to do something a little bit different. And I was thinking to myself, well, what genre? I mean, that's a time, but what kind of genres have we not had much of, particularly? And I remember having a request a few months ago. It was of a particular game or sort of a genre of game that someone wanted me to do, which I hadn't really touched much on beforehand. And I thought, well, I could certainly do that, because the game that they requested in the genre has some of, personally, I think, the biggest icons of, is it the 5th generation, I think it would be? Certainly of like the sort of the PS1 era, that sort of thing. Of course, as you guys know, the PS1 was what I was brought up on. It's what I knew. And being that it's the Christmas time as well, I want to do something that's a bit more, not family friendly, but just something a bit less, daunting and serious, folks. So I thought, well, what I would do is I would do a lot of things that I haven't done. Is that I would tackle a genre which I have not really done much of at all in this game. And I would couple that with probably one of the most recognisable icons of that generation of gaming, folks. And couple that with a game that I've not played for a long time. Occasionally it made me want to tear my hair out, but on the whole, really enjoyed lots and lots of replayability. And it'll be a great laugh, folks, because, the guy's a legend, and the series itself is probably one of the greatest forgotten series there's ever been, and That means a lot for me to say that, folks. It really does. I don't throw that around lightly. So what we're going to be doing along with the NES stuff is I am going to be bringing Mr. Crash Bandicoot to the channel, folks. And this is I wanted to do this game a while back, but I kept it under the wraps. I thought, no, I'll surprise people. If anyone here, you know, I'm sure you guys, some of you must well remember him. I think personally, fantastic set of games. The one I'm looking to do in particular is Crash Bandicoot Warped, which is the third one in the series. Not that that really matters much, but again, thoroughly enjoyed that. The genre itself is great, really creative game, and we're gonna have so much fun with that. I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm gonna be running on with that. And probably what will happen as far as, with, like, as I said, with games like the Silent Hills, the Resident Evils and all that, and we're looking to do those in the new year, basically. What the rough plan is, I mean, probably once Crash Bandicoot comes to an end, I'll probably be rolling on to Silent Hill 3. Grand Theft Auto, I'm going to be looking to tackle some point around in the spring. And I know Grand Theft Auto 4 is the next game chronologically that we're going to do, but I'm going to be looking to do probably a title or two of the GTA series before that as a lead up. So we'll see how that goes. I know which games I'm looking to do, and Resident Evil. Well, we'll find a place for Resident Evil, I'm sure, folks, basically. And there's a couple of things as well that I might well try and slot in if I can. But that's how I want to go, folks. I just want to change things up a little bit. I mean, it's been a lot of fun, especially we've had some massive titles this year. And especially the last 6 months have been fantastic. I've had amazing viewing figures over the last 6 months. It's been absolutely fantastic, and I owe you guys a hell of a lot for giving your time into watching what I do and enjoy and love. And that's what we're going to be doing, basically, folks. I just want to have a little bit of a change of genre, basically. I mean, the NES titles, you guys are going to, I'm sure that you guys are going to love them. I mean, there's so many different titles. There's some really tough games in there as well. Metal Gear Solid Extreme was difficult. Oh, man, there are some really tough games I'm looking to have a crack with. Some very infamous games as well, for that matter. And infamous stages, but we'll be getting there when we do. So, basically, folks, that is how we're going to be rolling. So I'm going to thank you guys very much for listening, watching and listening, all the rest of it. Of course, I thank you so much for watching on the videos that you have done. I really hope you've enjoyed what's been coming out, and I'm very confident that you will be enjoying what is going to be coming up in the very near future. First video of the NES stuff certainly is going to be coming up probably tomorrow. And as for Mr. Crash and his delightful companions, very colourful companions, as well as probably one of the cutest pandas I ever saw in a PS1, that will be coming up ASAP, probably Wednesday/Thursday. We'll see how we go. So thank you very much for watching and listening. If I don't do another update video beforehand, I do wish you guys, of course, a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I'm hoping I don't have to do another update video before, because if I do, it means something's gone wrong. So let's cross our fingers and tap our wood. Yes, Shadow, let's tap our wood. And on that bombshell, I suppose it's best to end before I say something anything more idiotic than that. You plonker. Thanks for listening. I'll see you then.